Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Alton West. Today, my guest will be from the LaGrange Police Department. Also, I have two gentlemen on that would like to honor the legacy of our firefighter, Ray Stewart. And also, I have on a special guest, so stay tuned for those interviews in just a moment. But before we get started, the City family would like to say welcome aboard to the following recent new hires: Marcus Battle and Timothy McGowan. The city employees recently received their service award pin for years of service to the city of LaGrange. Kenneth Edmond and Roger Hunt both received their 25-year pin. David Swartz and Jeff Hicks and Mayor Kelsey all received their 15-year pin, while Marcus Freeman got his 10-year pin, and Jason Lawson received his 5-year pin. Thank you, city employees, for your years of service. Now for the birthdays. Celebrating birthdays this week is Colin Hewitt, Wayne Cato, James Sims, Rodney Welburn, and Sean Guerrero. Happy birthday, city employees. Now, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We'll be right back to start the show. Welcome back to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Today I have one of LaGrange's finest, Corporal Larry LeMay from the Traffic Division. Corporal, welcome to the show.
How you doing, Dave? Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Well, it's a pleasure to sit down with you, and I know you have a lot of wealth of information here that you want to get out to our viewing audience, so we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. But Larry, talk a little bit about some of your duties as in the Traffic Division.
Well, my main primary duties are investigating motor vehicle collisions that occur within the city limits of LaGrange and enforcing traffic laws. So on a day-to-day basis, we respond to numerous collisions that occur throughout the city, and when I'm not investigating a collision, I'm out enforcing various traffic laws.
Okay, very good. Now, and one of those laws that is I think, so important that our viewing audience really and truly need to know about it, and I'm sure that most of us have a general knowledge of it, but ignorance of the law is no excuse. That is our seatbelt safety for children. Talk a little bit about that, and I know you have some statistics that you want to give us on some fatalities and things of that nature. Talk a little bit about that for us, Larry.
That's right. Well, we know that year on year that numerous kids are killed every year as a result of motor vehicle collisions, but more specifically, every year we have kids that are killed because they're not properly restrained. And we know those are deaths that are absolutely unnecessary. They shouldn't occur. But, you know, just statistics in general, in 2008, there were 14,154 kids that were in cars that were involved in motor vehicle collision that were between the ages of 6 and 8. And out of those, 1,755 were injured. We're talking about just in the state of Georgia. Of those 1,755 that are injured, there were 10 of them that were killed. And that's alarming when we have kids that are being killed in collisions. But more importantly, again, of those 10 that were killed, only 12% of them were properly belted up or restrained in the car. And that's where me as law enforcement want to go out there and try to educate the public and get these kids properly buckled up.
That's right. And you know, so many times, you know, we think it's difficult for us to put the seat in the car, it's time consuming, but when you give statistics like this, we need to take that time.
It doesn't matter if it takes 5 minutes, if it takes 10 minutes, or it takes 15 minutes. You have to buckle these car seats into the car properly, and also that's only part of it. Buckling the car into the car is properly. Buckling the car seat into the car is one thing, but buckling the child into the car seat is a completely another task that has to be performed properly. And when we talk about that, you know, the seat belt's got to be properly run through the back of the car seat. It's got to be latched down into the car. It's got to be tight. And then the kids have to have, all car seats have straps that come over the shoulders. You have 2 that come up over the legs to the hip area. And all those straps have to be properly belted in. You can't have the straps under the shoulders. You can't have them behind their backs. They got to be across their shoulders and between their legs.
Okay, very good information there, Larry. Now let's talk a little bit about, because you just gave the example of how the kids need to be belted in, because I know that there's an age when a child comes out of a car seat and goes into a booster seat. Talk about that for us, Larry.
Well, as a general rule of thumb, kids need to stay into a car seat until they're about 4 years old, okay, or that they're 40 pounds. Now, each particular car seat manufacturer has their own guidelines, and you need to read those guidelines, but as a general rule of thumb, 4 years old and 40 pounds, and from that point, you go out of the car seat and into a booster seat. Now, Georgia, as of July 1, or coming up in July 1, Georgia has new laws that are effective beginning July 1 that make it a little more stricter, and used to it only covered kids up to 6 years old, and now it's going to cover kids up to 8 years old.
Okay, okay, very good. Now the booster seat again, basically just kind of lifts the child up, and the purpose of that is what, Larry?
Okay, the purpose of a booster seat what it does is it puts proper seatbelt placement over the child. Okay, seat belts have to be across your shoulder in this particular area here, not under your arm, behind your back, but it has to go across your shoulder and not on your neck, and it's going to go across the lower part of your abdomen, not not on your belly area, but on your lower hip area.
Okay.
And what that booster seat does is it raises that child up so that the belts fit properly, because seat belts in cars are made to fit adults. They're not made to fit kids. And what that booster seat does is it allows that adult seat belt to fit properly on a non-adult.
Okay, very good information once again there. And the good point about the manufacturers of the car seats, you say they have their own requirements and regulations.
That is correct.
The parents need to basically know what those requirements are, correct?
That's right, because the law says that they have to be put in and installed in a car according to manufacturer specifications, and that's what we will be looking for.
Okay, all right. Are there any exemptions to a child being in a booster seat, Larry?
There are exemptions to it. What you want to generally see is that kids, when they get about 4 foot 9 inches tall, somewhere right around there, or they have a doctor's note says that there's some medical condition or something's wrong with the child, then they can come out of the booster seat. But as a general rule of thumb, 4 foot 9 inches tall is the height they need to be, and that's where the seatbelt, the adult seatbelt, will fit them properly, and the booster seat would not be needed anymore.
Okay, all right, very good. Now let's talk a little bit of something. We're going to change gears here. We're going to heat up things here, Larry,
right.
a little bit. We are talking about the annual events that run the 100 Days of Heat. Is that correct?
100 Days of Summer Heat.
Summer Heat.
That is an annual thing that is done. It's statewide across Georgia. It runs from, it started on May 23rd.
Okay.
It runs all the way till September the 5th. And the reason that these particular time frames have been chosen because of years of studies, it's known that there's a lot of crashes that occur during this time of the year because it's summer months. People are traveling, people are going on vacations, people tend to speed more during this time of the year, people tend to drink a little more alcohol during this time of year, and they also are not belting up properly. So the 100 Days of Summer Heat are targeted towards the drivers that are speeding, that are not buckled in, and are driving under the influence of alcohol and or drugs.
And it's so important too that as an adult that we be properly belted in too, because I know that you all, the LaGrange Police Department, occasionally do the roadside checks.
We do roadside checks actually quite regularly. Normally we do 1 or 2 a day if we can, depending on call volume.
Okay, very good. And again, it's just a safety thing to keep the general public safe. And you also have a statistic, I think, there about some of the people that are not belted in.
That's right. We know that every year in the state of Georgia alone, now this sounds alarming, but in the state of Georgia alone, 1,600 people die on an average every year in the state of Georgia from motor vehicle collisions, and that's an average of 29 a week. Now, of those people that are 1,600 that are killed and 29 every week, we know that every year in the state of Georgia, 500 to 600 people die because they're not wearing their seatbelt.
Oh my.
500 to 600 a year are not wearing their seatbelt and they die in a crash. And there's another 100 to 200 or so that it's inconclusive whether or not the seatbelt would not have saved their life.
Okay.
So those are alarming facts. And you know, putting a seatbelt on doesn't cost you anything. You can do it simultaneously with cranking your car up or putting it in reverse or drive. Just a click, you know. It's not nothing, no big deal, and it's something that's very easy to do. And it does not. When people say, you know, it limits my movement stuff, yeah, that's not true. Seatbelts, you can do what you need to do with your seatbelt on.
That's right. You know, it reminds me of a commercial that I heard where the person gets in the car and the belt goes, I mean, the little light goes ding, ding, and says, put your seatbelt on.
That's right.
It reminds them again, they say, look, I can't put it on for you. So it's just as simple as, you know, like you said, reaching to grab it and clicking.
You know, and I see a lot of times, unfortunately, people will take seatbelts because they don't want to hear the ding ding, and they'll actually, you know, latch the seatbelt and just keep it behind their back because they don't want to hear the ding ding going on, you know.
Right.
And unfortunately, you know, those people are circumventing the law by doing that, and the thing is they're putting their own life at risk when they do that.
Absolutely. Larry, we have a few moments here left, but I know I want to touch on a couple of ththings that are important about our young drivers.
That's right.
There's some laws that are coming out in July. Talk a little bit about the new driving laws.
Well, what we have for, now this is a particular law if you want to talk about, you know, texting and stuff like that. The law is out there about texting. If you're 18 years old or younger, you cannot text at all and you cannot talk on your cell phone. 18 years or younger, no texting, no cell phone, and regardless of age, you can't text going down the road.
That's right.
Keep that in mind. Also, one big thing I see on a regular basis is our new drivers. New drivers being drivers that have Class D driver's license. Keep in mind, this is for parents also, that for the first 6 months that these kids get these licenses, they cannot have any non-family member passengers in the car with them at all. And there's no driving whatsoever between midnight and 6 a.m. And there's no exceptions to that rule. No driving between midnight and 6, no non-family member passengers. And then even in the second 6 months of the child or the young driver getting that Class D license, you can only have one non-family member passenger in the car. So you can't load up all the family, friends, and stuff like that and go out and have fun. You cannot do that. It's a complete violation of the provisional driver's license.
Okay, very good. And that, again, it's a safety measure for the young driver because a lot of times they may just have gotten their license, they're inexperienced, and you talked about distractions a little bit before we came on, the radio, the texting, all those conversations.
That's right. We know from years and years of studies that new drivers, the last thing you want a new driver to have is some distractions within the vehicle. And we know that if you've got friends in the car, that you're going to be distracted. If you're going to be talking on the cell phone, you're going to be distracted. And that's the reason why these laws limit that type of activity or the distraction that they may have in the vehicle with them.
Okay. Corporal LeMay, we're going to definitely have to get you back on because there's a lot of things going on. We definitely want our general public to know about it. So I thank you very much
Thank
for
you
coming
very
on the
much.
show.
Enjoyed being here.
All right, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We're back for more City Week in just a moment. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now I have a very interesting guest on the set with me. I have Calliope the Clown. Calliope, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Alton.
Well, I also want to know that you have a guest, and I don't want to overlook him as well, or her, I'm sorry. And she is Penelope. All right. Well, Calliope, talk a little bit about, I think that you're going to be having a show that's going to be coming on pretty soon.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about how this came about.
Okay. I went to the circus for my birthday a couple of years ago, and I dressed as Raggedy Ann, and liked the way it felt because people were coming up to me, taking pictures of me. Children loved it. Everybody was smiling, and I thought I'd like to do a little clown work on the side. And at the time, I had been dabbling, doing some TV work here and there, and pitched the show to the former station where it was going to be carried, and they loved it, and so we did a full season there.
Oh, okay. Well, great, great. Well, you know what? I think anytime you go to the circus or carnival or anything, clowns are always, I know some kids sometimes are afraid of clowns, but most times they just run up to them like a little magnet. And then I think with your friend there, Penelope, that might help to attract additional kids there. Now, let me ask Penelope, because we were talking before we came on, she's kind of shy. And
Yeah, sometimes.
she's a little shy. Now, and also, Calliope, I know that you do ventriloquist as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Now, the purpose of your show is to help kids to understand
Morals,
Okay.
basic values,
Okay.
life lessons, and they learn that through the situations that Calliope and her puppet friends find themselves in at the circus caravan.
Oh, okay. So life lessons there. Let's talk to Penelope just for a moment. Can we do that?
Okay.
All right. Penelope, I know that you told me before we came on that you like kids, and what was the reason why you like kids?
Cause they give me treats.
They give you treats? Is that the only reason why you like kids? though?
No.
Okay. Sometimes do they pet you and be really nice to you? And you helping them to learn and to grow, correct?
That's right.
Okay. Well, very good.
And I can read.
You can read? You want to read some of my notes?
I don't have my glasses.
Oh, okay. Well, how about if I just read them to you?
Okay.
All right. Here, one of my notes about Penelope says that she does not chase after cars. Okay, very good. Why do you not chase after cars, Penelope?
I wouldn't know what to do if I caught it.
All right. So you're a comedian too, aren't you, Penelope?
Dun-dun-dun.
You are. Very good, very good. Well, look, now your show, Calliope, is going to be airing starting Mondays through Fridays. Talk about the times there.
Okay, it's going to be airing,
Monday through Friday, I think it is,
Right.
about 10:30 in the morning.
yes, and
And-
at 4 in the afternoon.
That's right.
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time remembering when it's supposed to come on, and I don't have my glasses
That's
on.
okay. That's why we have notes here, and I'll help you out there. It'll be starting Monday through Friday at 10:30, and then at 4 o'clock, and then 4:30, Mama Jama will be following me, so we'll have an hour of
that's
children
wonderful.
programs. So that will be great for our kids. And then on Saturdays and Sundays, you will be airing at 9 a.m.
Right.
Okay, so again, we have an hour of kids shows there, so we want to invite everybody to tune in and see Calliope and Penelope, and then followed up by Mama Jama.
That's right.
That's right. So let me ask you, what has been your, I guess, most weirdest experience thus far?
I'd
Or have you
to
had any?
say, well, yes, I have. I'd have to say when I was working on building the set, I got a reciprocating saw stuck in my hair.
Oh.
I'd have to say that was the weirdest thing that's happened.
A reciprocating saw
Yes.
stuck in your hair.
Yeah.
So you got to leave that to people that know what they're doing, right?
Well, I guess.
Okay.
In a word.
Okay, all right. Well, great. Calliope, I want to thank you for coming on today. And I know that the
you.
kids are just going to love your show.
Yes.
They're going to love Penelope. And Penelope, you're going to make sure that the kids, you told me earlier that you don't bite. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay, because you don't have.
Teeth.
Okay, all right.
Okay, Penelope, calm
Okay.
down.
Well, Calliope, Penelope, thank you both for coming
Thank
on the
you.
show, and I know the kids are going to love your show, and I'll be tuning in as well to watch some of the
Great.
episodes. All right?
All right.
Well, thank you all for coming on.
Thank you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We'll be back from One City Week in just a moment. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now I have on two gentlemen that would like to honor the legacy of one of our very own LaGrange firefighters, Ray Stewart, who recently passed away. I have as guests this afternoon Pete Thrillkill, his nephew, and none other than his son, Sam. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Well, you know what? I had an opportunity to know Ray and Sam, and I must say that he was a fine young man, and I'm sure that you were just absolutely proud of him, and you look so much like him.
Thank you, sir.
Well, look, we're here today to talk about a race that you all want to do, Pete, in honor of Ray, and it's called Ray's Run, and it's going to be held on June the 18th. Talk a little bit about how this came about for us, Pete.
Yes, I found out that Uncle Ray, he used to exercise around the Harris Ball Field complex, and he would walk 8 laps, I do believe, a day with Mr. Norton, and that would be his exercise that he would get in. Well, I am an avid runner myself, and being able to put on a run of some sort to honor somebody's name, I thought would be kind of easy with the person that we're doing it for.
That's right.
So I felt like it would be a good thing in memory of his name to do this.
Okay, well, very good. And again, I just want to mention that's going to be, there's, you talk about it's going to be a run and a walk. Talk about that for us too, Pete.
Well, for personal reasons, I run, but most of his family and people that take with me to runs, they're unable to run the actual 5K run, but they can walk at least a mile. So I made it a 5K run plus a 1 mile walk, either or you can choose to do. And me personally, I would like to do a run or a walk with someone. Mm-hmm. So I broke it up into 2 different times, so that way I could do it. And anyone that can't walk or can't run, they can do the walk, and you can do it and still benefit the actual foundation and the purpose of the cause.
Okay. All right, we're going to talk about the purpose and the times that the walk and run would take place
Yes,
in
sir.
just a moment. But I want to ask Sam, what does this mean to you, Sam, having something of this nature that will honor your father?
It makes me extremely grateful to see all these people come out and celebrate the death of my father, and do all these things and get donations for the Burn Foundation, and it makes me extremely proud and grateful.
Okay. And Sam, you mentioned about the Burn Foundation. I think as we were talking before we came on, I think you had an occasion to visit the Burn Center. Talk about that experience.
Yes, sir. Last year, I had a bad motorcycle accident. My leg got caught under the muffler, and I got a really bad burn. And the next morning, I went over to Augusta Burn Foundation, and they treated me very good, very well.
Okay, very good. Now we're talking about the Burn Foundation, Pete. The funds, I understand, will benefit a couple of charities, and talk about those.
Yes, the Burn Foundation is the Georgia Firefighters Burn Foundation, and the money that we raise from this run will go to them. We're trying to get sponsors. Any sponsors that were willing to help us out, please contact us. We have if I can plug a little bit for it, our main advertisement for the Ray's Run is a Facebook page set up, Ray's Run. You can get on it and get all the information, my phone number, any kind of sponsorship we can get, we'd love to take.
Okay.
And we're going to have t-shirts printed up, of course, for everyone to help promote it afterwards. We would like to make it an annual event, but the money does support a very fine foundation that does great things for burn victims.
Okay, very good. Now, excuse me, you said there's the 5K run and then there's a mile walk. Talk about the times that this mile run and walk would take place.
Definitely. We would keep it early in the morning, of course, to keep it cool.
That's right.
7:50 would be the beginning of the 5K run, and 8:45 to allow everyone enough time to get back from the 5K run to be able to do the 1 mile walk.
Okay, all right, very good. Are there registration fees associated with it?
The registration fees are $22, and that gets you the T-shirt with some goodie prizes with chances at door prizes afterwards. Awards will be presented to the top female, top male runner, and we broke it down to age groups. Also, we'll get individual first, second, and third place trophies.
Oh, okay, very good. So this sounds like a family event. The entire family can come out.
Yes,
right?
you can, yes.
Okay. And talking about being a family event, Sam, I know that you're going to be involved in some activities that will be taking place that day. Talk about that for us as well.
Yes, sir. We are having, after the run, we are having a kickball game. It's purely for fun, no admission fee, nothing like that. It's the firefighters team and EMS versus my team, and they pick who they want, and I pick who I want. And so it's purely for fun. You can come out if you want to and everything like that.
Okay, a kickball. And you're going to choose, I think you were telling me before, you can get some old school guys, you say?
Retired firefighters versus the new firefighters.
Uh-oh, that ought to be interesting. A lot of fun. And this will take place there on the fields as well, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Now, we said that the registration fee is $22, gets you the T-shirt and also some prizes. You're also looking for sponsorship, I understand, Pete, correct?
Correct. Anyone for sponsorship. The T-shirts are designed, but they're not printed yet. We left space on the back for sponsorship names to go. $100 to get your name on a T-shirt, plus an entry form into the actual race. So if you just want to pay the sponsorship and get you a T-shirt, plus you want to walk it, come out and participate, we'd love to have you.
Okay. Now, I think you're going to have some other vendors there that the day of the event as well. I think you said Aerovac.
We have talked with the EVAC helicopter and their crew. They're going to come, and they're going to also help try to sell their memberships, which are $50 a year. I don't want to get in too much because I don't understand it completely, but they want to explain for the people that don't.
All right.
Of course, some fire trucks, an ambulance, little safety vehicles, things of the sort that people just don't understand and may want to see a little bit better of. They'll be able to this day.
Okay, all right. So again, it sounds like a family event. Bring the family out for the 5K run or
Yes.
either the mile walk, and that's going to be June 18th. Those start times again, 7:50 a.m. for the run.
Correct.
And 8:45 for the walk.
Correct.
And it's open to all ages, is that correct?
Anybody wants to come, we'll have 11-year-olds running 5K. My dad's planning to run at 65. So if you want to, and you don't actually have to run a 5K. You can push a stroller with a baby in it. And it's a fun run. It's not for points. It ain't for money. And we just wanted people to come out and participate. You can walk it, crawl it, whatever. We just want you to show up. We're also going to have a band there. And we're going to try to make it a good event to make everybody happy. And we want to see you leave with smiles.
Okay. Now this, I want to ask a question. This is the first. Do you guys see this growing in the future?
Yes, very much
definitely.
so.
Okay.
Definitely. This has been very easy with, like I said, with the person that we're doing it for, and just his name alone has drawn a crowd, and I can only see it getting better and bigger as the name grows and the actual run event itself grows.
Okay, very good. Well, we're very happy that you all are coming on and sharing this information. I know that the general public and the surrounding communities are going to come out and fully support this, because not only are we honoring a great man that was a part of our community, that's still a part of our community,
Yes.
but we're also raising funds to benefit a great cause, and that is the Burn Foundation. Sam, I didn't ask you about how you said they treated you well. How has the burn healed?
It has healed very well, although I have to go through a few steps every day, but it's definitely worth it to protect it, and it's healing up real nice.
Very good, very good. You know, a lot of times we don't really understand and appreciate things until we have to go through them,
Right.
and then we understand them a little bit better. And also, I wanted to just also mention, I know that there's a guest in the studio that has been behind the scenes helping us. I just want to say hello to Taylor, who is a great niece of Ray as well,
Yes.
that came with you gentlemen, and I think she pointed you guys to where to sit and told you guys what to say.
She's a very good director.
She is a very good director, and so we just want to say to Taylor, we thank you for all of that. And again, I want to thank you gentlemen for coming on and sharing it. Any closing comments from either one of you all?
Did you have any? We're going to have a representative or enough information from the actual Burn Foundation to help promote it also, for people to understand what their money is for. It's just not going to some organization they don't understand. I would like to promote that as well and all that they do.
Okay.
So, and what Uncle Ray took pride in taking care of.
Okay. Now, one last closing comment from me. When I saw you immediately, Pete, I'm like, where do I know this guy from? Tell everybody where they know you from.
You recognize me from the post office.
From the post office.
Yes, sir.
That's it. All right. Well, Pete, Pete and Sam, thank you all very much for coming on, and we want to
Appreciate
make sure that we have all the community come out and support this because it's for a great cause.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We're back for more City Week in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for City Week. My guests have been from the LaGrange Police Department, Corporal Larry LeMay, and he talked about some interesting statistics and also gave us some factual information about belting children in safely. By all means, we want you to take heed to those facts, and if you have questions and need to get additional information, give them a call at the LaGrange Police Department. The number is 883-2603. That's the main number. Also, I had on the nephew and the son of the late Ray Stewart, local firefighter that passed away recently. They're honoring his legacy by having a Raise Run that will be held on June 18th out at the Harris Ball Field. By all means, we want to invite all the public to come out and be a part of this event. There will be various activities for family and friends, so come out and support this event. Also, we had on Calliope that will be featuring here on Channel 19 her own show. By all means, we want you to tune in and watch those episodes of her show as well. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, I want to invite you back for more of City Week.